Last week, Craig, Scotty, and I attended the Combatives Association Summit. It's a 3-day event that attempts to bridge the gap between various self-defense skills, weapons, gun, knife, improvise, including dry fire, physical, wrestling, grappling, striking, and verbal. How do we talk to people? By combining those fields of studies under one roof, I think we're going to see a real rapid rise in development in the instructor's ability to present the material, student performance, and the material or content itself, because no longer is everyone working in a silo. The summit was held in Biloxi, Mississippi, if I'm saying that right. That's Craig's hometown and also where he did the majority of his law enforcement career. The host venue was American Top Team D'Iberville, if I said that right. The names are getting to me. It's a true fighter's gym. It's got enough space to hold the summit. It's got every piece of equipment that we could want. The one thing that was present that we didn't really care for was the Mississippi heat. It was brutal and relentless throughout the entire weekend. There were 2 areas of the gym set up for classes to go simultaneously. Every 2 hours, 2 classes would start, and participants got to choose which one of the 2 they would attend. The multiple instructors and short 2-hour block format served more as a tasting menu for participants to experience an instructor they may have never gone to a full course with, or possibly dip their toe into a topic that they find interesting. Both Scotty and I flew into Mississippi really late Thursday night. Craig picked us up from the airport, dropped us off at the Airbnb, and gave us a gentle reminder we had a 7:30 a.m. start time at the gym, so after about 4 hours of sleep, we woke up and headed there. As soon as we arrived at the gym, we were bombarded by Shivworks alumni, guys we've trained with, other instructors, and people who maybe we haven't met in person, but we've conversed back and forth on social media. It was really humbling to receive all the support from everyone, and I'm sorry if we didn't get a chance to have a conversation. Hopefully we can do it next time. The summit kicked off with a welcome aboard speech by John Valentine, who was the event coordinator. He also covered the basics: hand fighting, pummeling, posture. It was a good, brief baseline to ensure moving forward, all participants had at least some foundation, allowing instructors to focus on more advanced, nuanced material. Following that foundation, everyone was moved downstairs to the outdoor area where our instructional block took place. We focused on weaponizing language, understanding that the majority of the classes at the summit are going to be focused on physical skills. We thought it would be important to add some sort of verbal component to the training. I feel like our block was well received and did a good job of expressing the value of communication as a weapon you can use to aid in your self-defense. After our block, the summit continued. People were separated into one of 2 classes that were going on at the same time. I focused most of my observation on the outdoor coursework. I was really interested to see how much the heat was going to impact the training. A particular class to note was Matt Pranka's. He's a grandmaster, retired SF guy, and he did a block on dry fire. It was outdoors in the sweltering heat. I could visibly see sweat pouring off every single person that was in that course, and every single person stayed engaged through the entirety of the block of instruction. It was really impressive to see how dedicated these people were. I also think it's really important to bring in high-level shooters like Matt Pranka to a combative summit so we can combine these 2 often disparate communities, shooting and self-defense. They belong under one roof, under one umbrella. That's how we're going to continue progressing the industry, if we are going to call it that. Day 1 ended with a Shivworks team dinner. The dinner was a real special occasion. Most people are familiar with Craig, Scotty, and I, but not as many people are familiar with the often surprisingly brilliant minds who developed Shivworks over the last 20 years. This is the first time all of us were in one place at one time, so we splurged a bit and had an amazing dinner at the White Pillars restaurant. Caviar, oysters, bluefin tuna tartare, pork skin noodles, all created in-house by Chef Austin. The building itself that the restaurant resides in is a house that was built in 1902 by a doctor, and Austin gave us generously a tour of the building. It's an amazing place. The food's great. If you're in the area, this is a must stop. Definitely Michelin star level food. Days 2 and 3 were much the same. More instructors, more training, different topics. During lunch, Scotty and I were able to find some mat time and get some rolls in. We were joined by a few people and quickly grew a little crowd who are watching us roll. Hopefully next year they feel the urge to jump in there with us and get some rolls in. After the lunchtime rolls, Scotty, Craig, and I were invited to be on the Iron Sights podcast. This is the first time the three of us have done a podcast at the exact same time, so hopefully we don't sound stupid. The Combatives Summit overall is a good stepping off point for establishing and then raising the standards of material delivery and presentation within the field of study that we generally refer to as combatives. The more people involved, the more rapid improvement we're going to see as an industry, if you want to call it that. Hopefully you enjoy this sort of peek behind the curtain, get an idea of what we do every weekend when we travel to different locations across the country providing training. Just keep in mind, I film everything with my cell phone. I don't script or proofread what I say, and I try to avoid swearing so I don't get banned by the social media machine. That's just kind of the world we live in right now. If there's anything specific that you would find interesting or want to know, reach out. If you want to roast me, get to it in the comments. That's all fine.